everyone, welcome to the Crimsafe Endurance Countdown. I'm Briony Ingerson and with me is Jack Perkins. Jack, let's look at the 4-car Nissan Motorsport entry. We'll start off with Jack Daniels Racing. Todd Kelly pairing with David Russell, Rick Kelly with Carl Reindler. Look, between them the boys have got 3 Bathurst wins, but it's been about 8 years since either one of them last stood on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, well, they've had a big change down there. Obviously, the Nissans, their first time they'll be back at Bathurst since 1992 when they did win. But it's been weird this year. The black cars have struggled compared to the yellow Norton ones. So Todd and Rick will really look to impress this year at the Enduros. They've got good continuity with co-drivers having been involved with the team before. So we like that come this time of year, continuity. But we're just unsure of how the parity and the engines are going to sit. They're definitely struggling with horsepower and potentially using more fuel. So hopefully they're not at too much of a disadvantage come Bathurst especially. But you know, Sandown with those 2 long straightaways, if they are down on power, it's really going to show up.
Well, we did see the Norton Hornets really, they were the talk of the town at the last round at the Winton 360. James Moffat claiming his first ever V8 supercar race win, and of course Michael Caruso, his first podium for Nissan this season. Michael Caruso pairing with Dan Gawn, James Moffat with Taz Douglas. So 2 really strong Dunlop Series drivers there this year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I like the look of this team, the yellow side of the world. It's got good young drivers, and both Dan and Taz are good steerers, both running in the Dunlop Series, so they'll get good laps there at Bathurst in the races beforehand. And James Moffat, currently the highest Nissan driver in the championship, coming off that awesome 1-2 finish at Winton. It was really good for the sport and good for the confidence moving forward. So, you know, this could be a real surprise packet, and they could be the leading of the 2 new manufacturers at the Enduro. So watch out for these 2.
Well, Stefan Bartholomeus caught up with the man of the moment, James Moffat, and also Todd Kelly's co-driver, David Russell.
David Russell has been somewhat of a stalwart with this team now, coming back for a 3rd year. But Dave, they've changed the manufacturer on you. Now in a Nissan, you've had a couple of steers. What do you think of the cars?
Look, I'm very excited. We had a really good test here at Winton a few weeks ago, and really impressed with the car. Every time I've driven it, it's responded very well to changes. And as a driver, you need to be able to get in, have confidence that, you know, when you're changing the anti-roll bars in a stint, or you're feeling the high fuel load or low fuel load, that you can feel the difference in the car. And for me, I was really comfortable. We did some longer runs, and all I focused on was good, consistent runs, and I was very comfortable in the car. So really happy, and the Nissan will hopefully have a strong showing come the Enduros.
Do you still see these sort of races as a bit of an audition and a chance to show what you've got to try to get a full-time ride, or have you got to just put that out of your mind?
Look, yeah, at the end of the day, my role as a co-driver is to bring the car back to Todd for us to have a strong finish. You can't do that when you're dicing for midway through the race for a position that potentially you could gain in a pit stop. So you got to be very smart about the way you approach these races. Yes, you want to be fast, but your role is to be fast and to bring the car home, not make any mistakes. So the list goes on. It's not just about doing a 1-lap blinding lap and then go, oh, look, I did a great job. There's more to it. And, the team owners and managers know that. So that's what they look for in their co-drivers, and then potentially who they're going to employ for next year's season.
Now, these Enduros might be particularly tough for you guys, considering where you're at the moment with the engine program. What have you got to do in these races to get a result?
Well, certainly Sandown's going to be pretty difficult for us with the way the engine is at the moment. Sandown's technically 2 big drag strips, and especially the back straight being uphill most of the way will definitely knock us around, and Bathurst for that matter will also probably hurt us with the engine as well. But what we can do in the endurance races is, try and get through those races with no mistakes. I've got a good co-driver in Taz. I'm sure he'll do a great job, and a very solid job at that. So we just have to concentrate on executing all the things that we can control, and at the end of the day see where we fall out at the end of those races. But there's certainly probably going to be tough races for us, but we'll certainly go there giving it our best shot.
You mentioned Taz. You've been mates for a fairly long time. Is it important to have that relationship heading into a race weekend where you're working together?
I think it definitely helps. Like you said, we have been friends for quite a long time, and I was his mechanic back in Victorian Formula Ford back in 2005. So we've known each other for quite a long time. We've raced against each other, both in the Dunlop Series and also Main Series. So I think there's a bit of respect there for each other, and he's fitted in really well. There's no really any need for adjustments inside the cockpit between him and I in terms of seating position and belts and all that. So that's another, I guess, element that we don't have to worry about in terms of the co-driver or the driver changes. So I have no doubt he'll do a good job, and he's already fitted in well to the team.
James Moffat and David Russell there. Certainly interesting times ahead for Nissan Motorsport. Of course, stay tuned to speedcafe.com for more of the Crimsafe Endurance Countdown.
Buying security screens? Most Crimsafe lookalikes can pop out in just a few seconds, but the real Crimsafe doesn't, thanks to its patented screw clamp. Cheap lookalikes can pop out because they're only held in with a piece of plastic. But Crimsafe screw clamp locks the mesh and spreads the impact. Crimsafe resists attack and corrosion and now has the ultimate warranty, 15 years. Ask for a demonstration today, because if it's not Crimsafe, it's not Crimsafe.